This is The Wire for 1600 Zulu, October 12, 2023. Precedence is routine. The information cutoff date is 1500 Zulu, October 12, 2023. Bottom line up front. Israel strikes Damascus and Aleppo. Palestine declares October 13th, Global Day of Jihad. Starting with international events. On the Middle Eastern front, Israel expands the conflict by conducting preemptive strikes in the heart of Syria, with IDF officials confirming future strikes to take place over the next few days. The Damascus-Aleppo airports were taken out of action in these strikes. Israel continues bombing campaign of Gaza with the goal of total annihilation as described by IDF officials. Israeli defense officials have vowed to turn Gaza into a tent city with no structure left standing. Israeli strikes in Lebanon continue as harassing fires originate from border skirmishes. Various Lebanese Hezbollah subgroups have declared a general mobilization. Thousands of Egyptian Bedouin fighters stage on the Egyptian border with Gaza with the intent to join the war. Iranian IRGC ground forces reportedly making movement towards the Iraq border, though this is not confirmed at this time. Palestine declares a global day of jihad scheduled for Friday, October the 13th. Many claims of demonstrations and more violent actions are planned to reach a zenith tomorrow as users on social media announce planned demonstrations in most U.S. cities as well as throughout Europe. United States Carrier Strike Group 12 remains on station, Eastern Med. 101st Airborne preparing for mobilization, allegedly to a remote FOB in Israel. No further information on this at this time. The HMS Queen Elizabeth Carrier Strike Group is making preparations for a possible deployment to the Middle East. The U.S. State Department reaffirms the standard policy of charging fees for rescue flights. The Department of State will offer emergency evacuation for Americans stranded in Israel, but will only rescue citizens if they sign a promissory note obligating citizens to repay rescue costs. Despite common thought to the contrary, this is a standard State Department policy. On the home front, in the United States, online rhetoric and threats of violence peak in anticipation of the Global Day of Jihad tomorrow. Demonstrations in support of Palestine are planned for most major U.S. cities. Analyst comments for this wire. Despite many claims of atrocities being walked back as no evidence surfaces, truth is no longer able to stop this war from escalating. Based on the public rhetoric of IDF officials and Israel's military actions so far, there is zero chance of proportional response. The lines are beginning to blur between what Israel considers to be Hamas and the Palestinian population. Based on IDF officials' statements so far, it is highly likely that Israel intends to totally eradicate every Palestinian from Gaza. Talks are allegedly already underway with Egypt and other nations to take in the survivors and refugees that remain. Palestinian threats of a global jihad are genuine and intertwine civil disruption operations with more deliberate terror attempts. As such, any and all demonstrations remain high-risk events. Heightened situational awareness is strongly recommended over the next few days as the risk of lone wolf attacks or even sleeper cell activations is increased. Due to American support to Israel, attacks on American citizens abroad are highly likely, as are random attacks within the United States. There is no specific evidence of more coordinated attacks on the horizon, though as this operation was clearly being planned for at least a year, more sophisticated terror attacks on the home front are a possibility. This concludes the Wire report for 1600 Zulu, October 12, 2023.